Probably I shouldn't play that much Streets of Rage because, well, I should have done other stuff too, but I regret nothing. Greetings, welcome to another Deckard Games YouTube thing, and today we have something different because we are going to follow up a chain of videos, I guess, about three of the most valuable items in my collection. I'm wearing my Deckard Games hoodie that I was offered by a friend of mine in this last Christmas, so yeah. And I was challenged by fellow YouTuber Pedro from the channel It's a Pixel Thing. That is part of my YouTube family and stuff, so you can find the link in the description of this video. As for all the other YouTubers who entered this chain of videos, or this theme of videos, but yeah, while it was, I don't know, kind of simple to pick three things or three items that I consider to be the most valuable in my collection, and by value, in my case and in other YouTubers' opinion also, we are not talking about money. Of course, there are a few things that can be expensive, but I don't know, that is not the case for me. When we talk about value, I talk about sentimental value, the meaning that those kind of things have to me. I have some expensive stuff that you are not going to see in this list, definitely, but yeah, it is sentimental value or collective value, or I don't know, make of it what you want to. And as I was saying, although it was easy to pick three items, it was kind of hard to leave so much stuff behind, because there are lots of things to choose. And again, while picking three was kind of easy, I was starting to want to do some honorable mentions kind of thing before I started the video, before I show the three things that I've picked. And I was already with 8 different things from the TV game, from the Mega Drive, a lot of different stuff, so the honorable mentions were becoming more and more in numbers, so I had to ditch those, and I'm just gonna talk about those 3 items that have the most value to me. Maybe I'll do a separate video on the other stuff that I consider to be valuable, so yeah, whatever. So I have 3 things to show you in this chain of videos about 3 of the most valuable items in my collection, so yeah, I guess it's time to show you, so let's get straight to it. And if you follow my channel, you know this is a obvious pick. The first thing that I want to show is, of course, Streets of Rage on the Sega Mega Drive or Genesis if you live in North America. Let me see if I can put this thing in here. Yeah, like that. More like that. So yeah, Streets of Rage is, I love my beat 'em ups, and Streets of Rage is for me the very best beat 'em up ever, period. I spent so many hours, hundreds of hours. Probably I shouldn't play that much Streets of Rage because, well, I should have done other stuff too, but I regret nothing. Yeah, tons of hours playing Streets of Rage, and again, I've mentioned this in the past, it is one of those games that not only is good, the graphics are good, the sound is good, the gameplay is awesome, but it is one of those games that just reminds me of friends, of being young, and playing along with some friends on my bedroom or at their place and whatnot. So yeah, it is a video game that reminds me of that friendship thing around video games, and I spent so many hours playing Streets of Rage. But I have a twist, not the Streets of Rage cartridge itself, but rather I believe this is a European thing only. The Mega Games 2 for the Mega Drive or Genesis, which has Shinobi, Streets of Rage, and Golden Axe, 2 beat 'em ups, and a side-scroll action game, or maybe 1 beat 'em up and 2 brawlers. Let's call it that. Yeah, maybe it's more like that. Streets of Rage being a side-scroll beat 'em up, and better, Shinobi being a side-scroll beat 'em up, and Streets of Rage and Golden Axe being a 2 brawlers. So it comes with a cartridge and 3 manuals. And as I was saying, I believe this is a European thing only, these Mega Games collections and stuff. So yeah, playing these 3 games was it's just something. But again, Streets of Rage comes on top. I love Shinobi, I love Golden Axe. The one that I picked was Streets of Rage, let me put it here. But I played it back in the day with a friend of mine, or lots of friends, in the Mega Games 2 compilation, which is just awesome to have these 3 games in 1 cartridge. But yeah, again, awesome graphics, awesome gameplay, awesome sound by Yuzo Koshiro, and it just I don't know what to say about Streets of Rage. Those were the times, those were the days, you know, having a real human being by your side and not on the other side of the interwebs talking trash to you and stuff. So yeah, real human being by your side, cooperative gameplay, kicking some butt on the Streets of Rage, and yeah, it is just one of those games that is eternal for me, and for that it is there's no really, there's not I don't know, there's not a 1, 2, 3 kind of thing. This is not the first or the second, no, this is the first one that I want to show, and that's it. Yeah, so my first pick, Streets of Rage on the Sega Mega Drive / Genesis, a game that I played a ton, and it has a lot of sentimental value for me, so I want to play it now. So the second thing I want to show, again, if you follow my channel, this is a no-brainer. This is a game that I also played a lot back in the day. Yeah, it's another game, and I first saw it at my cousin's house, I believe. He had an IBM PC before I got mine, a few months later, something like that. And the first time that I saw this game, I just got immediately hooked to it. I already played the first one at a friend's house. I believe it was the Amiga version. But yeah, the second one, if there is a game, Streets of Rage is a game that I played a lot, and it has a lot of meaning to me, like I explained. But it didn't change much about me. And if there's a game that I can say that changed a little bit of my life, a little bit of my choices when it comes to education, when it comes to, I don't know, professionally, I can only pick one game, and this game is it. And that is SimCity 2000 for the PC. Back when PC games came with good old big boxes. Yeah, this is a backup. I don't even use the original floppy disk, but because I don't want to ruin them. This is how much I like SimCity. So yeah, as I was saying, can you go in there? Yes, you can. As I was saying, that's the only game I can say. I can say that. I don't know. I always liked Asian civilizations. I always liked watching cities grow up and people getting around. minding their business, watching society in general, and knowing what was happening. I don't have much words to explain it. It is something that you feel or not, but yeah, I don't know how to explain it. I tried to wrote something before I started the video, and I just couldn't. There are no words to explain how I feel about SimCity 2000. Uh, it is not a sentimental thing only, although that exists. It is not a nostalgia thing only. It is not a being young thing only. It is something that really, really changed the way I look to video games and the way I look to life a little bit. But I don't know. It is a different kind of game that I've never seen. Again, I've already played SimCity, the original game, in a Commodore Amiga, and SimCity 2000 was a game changer. It is a game that has no end. You just start off your city, almost micromanagement. It wasn't as deep as games go nowadays with the city skylines and stuff, with a lot of micromanagement. But again, it isn't strategy. It isn't. SimCity is its own thing. There are other sim games, especially for Maxis, but yeah. But SimCity it is its own thing, its own proper thing. I don't know. There are action games, RPGs, brawlers, adventure games. I don't know, and there's SimCity on the side. There is SimCity on the side, definitely. I don't know what else to say. SimCity changed my life. SimCity changed the way I looked at video games. It changed a lot of my choices, or it influenced a lot of my choices throughout the years. And it's something that I will cherish forever. So it has a very special place in my heart and in my collection. I have an altar to SimCity 2000 with all the versions that it's behind the camera, with the Network Edition, the CD Collection, the Special Edition, CD-ROM Edition, for Macintosh edition, Game Boy Advance, Super Nintendo, PlayStation, Sega Saturn, the list goes on. I have an altar to SimCity. I don't exhibit games too much. I have them on the shelf and that's it. And again, SimCity is the exception. I have a shelf dedicated to SimCity. That's how important this game is to me. So yeah, I don't know what else to say. SimCity 2000. It is my second pick to the most valuable items in my collection. It's a piece of cardboard with two floppy disks inside and a good old proper paper manual. But I just love this game, and I have nothing else to say. If you've never played SimCity, I believe you should do so. And so the third and final pick for the most valuable items in my collection, it's been here since the video started, and it is the PC represented by my retro PC gaming corner kind of thing. That's a long name, but I think it suits. And it's I don't know, it's a PC, and I want to represent it not only by my setup right here, but by showing off a Voodoo 2 from 3DFX, and this was a game changer back in the day. Again, if SimCity changed my life and the way I looked at video games, as I've mentioned, the first time that I saw SimCity 2000 was at my cousin's house. I think I'm not wrong. And a few months later, I got my Pentium 1. I guess it was my Pentium 1, because I already have my IBM 486. Yeah, I believe it's like that. I already have my 486. I didn't know about SimCity 2000, and then I got my Pentium 1. And a couple years later, 2 years maybe, something like that, I got my first 3D accelerator, my first Voodoo 2, from 3DFX, and it was from Creative Labs because I love creative stuff. And as I was saying, if SimCity changed my life and it influenced a lot of my choices throughout the years, the PC, which was already part of my life, then was even more part of it. My education and not as much professionally, but I'm still connected to PCs and technologies and websites and stuff, which I'm not going to talk about because it's personal stuff. But my education was around PC engineering and stuff, or computer engineering. And I was always connected with computers since then. I loved messing around with old hardware, chasing stuff around, trying new stuff, making mistakes, learning with those mistakes, reading the old DOS manual, reading the ASCII phone book. It seemed like a phone book. It was thick, but yeah. I don't know. It changed my life, and I've been connected with PCs since then. I love modern hardware, but my true love lays with old PC stuff because I don't know. Today, I don't want to say that stuff should be hard to do, that you should melt your brain to start off a game on your computer. Nothing like that. Life goes on and stuff gets easier and easier, and that's the way to go. Nowadays, anyone can assemble a PC. Not that back in the day you couldn't, but today it is a very simple job to do. There are a lot of tutorials, and I don't know. That is it's something that is just simple. You just pick up your motherboard and you start sticking stuff in it, and it's all slick and clean and cable management. And back in the day, not only it was not that simple to build your own computer, your own PC, stuff was a lot harder to find. It was I'm not going to say more expensive, but I don't know, life in general was hard, and having a computer was like being on top of the world. Now everybody has a computer, fortunately. Again, nothing like that. But back in the day, having a computer was something special, and messing around with DOS and no graphics user interface. I don't know, running a game, you would run out of memory. Having hard drives with 100 megabytes, and now you carry 128 gigabytes on your cell phone, on your pocket. Those were just different times. And again, I don't want to sound wrong, but the effort that one put into building a PC or having a PC and then running it, just playing a game or something like that, it made things more enjoyable. I don't want to sound pretentious or something like that. I don't know. It was like a conquer every time. I don't know, man. Those were just different times. And again, I don't believe it was something about being young and I don't know. You just have to work for stuff. You just have to a lot of hassle, a lot of issues. Computers were a newish kind of thing, so you had to learn all the stuff from the very beginning. And I don't know what else to say. Those were different times, harder times indeed. But I think that hardness made things more enjoyable because I had that feeling of achieving something. So yeah. Regardless, the PC changed my life, and we've been connected since and until today. I love retro PC stuff. as you can see if you follow the channel. But yeah, so my third pick is the personal computer in general. A name that, by the way, appeared in 1981 with the IBM 5150. Not the first computer, of course, but the first machine to have the personal computer name associated with it, the IBM personal computer, again in 1981, the year I was born. This is a coincidence and nothing else, but it pleases me to know that. So yeah, PCs, they were a pain, but it was a mix of love and hate, and well, I just love it. I love my old PCs, and they are eternal. And these are my three picks for my three most valuable items in my collection. I want to state again that this is not about money. If you read the presentation on my channel, I have three rules there, and one of those rules is not to talk about video games about their price only, or for their price only. So this has nothing to do with money. This has to do with value, whatever you want to make of that word. So yeah, this is a response to Pedro from the channel It's a Pixel Thing. Again, you can find the link to his channel in the description of this video, and all the others who participated in it. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed it. This was a little different, with a lot of on-camera time, which I'm not a fan of. Maybe I shouldn't have a YouTube channel, I don't know. Nevertheless, if you haven't subscribed to the channel, please click that subscribe button and leave a comment about what you think of my choices, and what does value mean to you, and I don't know, what do you value the most in your video game console, PC collection thing and whatnot. So yeah, leave a like in the video. Remember that you can follow me on the various social media networks that exist, not in an old PC like this, because that wouldn't work, for some social media nonsense, because that's what I do best, nonsense stuff. And yeah, as always, thank you very much for watching this, and until my next video, take care.